see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Many in the religious community, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation. From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical incident that he confirmed to the public he had a heart attack. Now, 5 months later, he told his congregation he had been preparing his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and his son-in-law, Pastor Torrey Roberts, to take the...
They were low-key working with Diddy behind the scenes. And now that the 5th day of testimony in his trial has wrapped, the heat is on. It's clear other big names knew what was going down. Just look at the names being dragged. Steve Harvey, Ashton Kutcher, Michael B. Jordan, and Kanye. On top of that, Justin Bieber just broke his silence about Diddy and opened up about their relationship. Let's break this all down, because it's getting real messy.
Here's why Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, and more celebrities were name-dropped at Sean Diddy Combs' trial. As jury selection in the mogul's sex trafficking trial got underway May 5th in New York, NBC News reports prospective jurors were shown a list of more than 100 names of people and places that may be referenced during the trial, including actors Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and rapper Kanye West. While the aforementioned celebrities are not implicated in the case, the potential jurors were asked whether they knew any of the names listed and whether it would impact their ability to be impartial, per the outlet. Attorneys did not share an explanation for the list. The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also on the list, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled one day after it was filed. Danity Kane alum Dawn Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases.
What's wild is how many celebrities are suddenly ducking the spotlight as Diddy's trial unfolds. Ashton Kutcher stepped away from Hollywood a while ago. Maybe because he knew this day was coming. His breakup with Mila Kunis? Yeah, Diddy played a role in that too. Ashton knew the downfall was coming and anyone tied to Diddy would fall right with him. He's not walking away clean. Neither is Will Smith, Justin Bieber, T.D. Jakes. All of them are distancing themselves from Diddy now.
And whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now. With one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs. And we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of him has changed dramatically since these allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is whenever you see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or the drug ecstasy, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to lead his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual.
Terrence Howard once said that the Hollywood lifestyle is toxic. You're forced into doing things you never signed up for. A lot of these people were probably victims before they became complicit. Back in 2019, Demi Moore came forward with the shocking claim that her mom let men sleep with her for $500 when she was just a kid.
Demi Moore, she revealed in her memoir that she was sexually assaulted at the age of 15, writing that her mother let the abuser in their home. Well, today, Demi talked to Howard Stern more about this on his Sirius XM radio show.
That you say you pushed it away. You don't need, you just...
I pushed it away because I felt like it was my fault. Like I felt like I had behaved in a way that was
provocative
and mature, like I really knew a lot. And I never really looked at myself as being a kid. And so I never looked at it as rape. I mean, I saw it as an unfortunate and, embarrassed. I was very embarrassed by it. In all honesty, I think that the shame I carried because of the rape made me afraid to feel I could comfortably express myself sexually.
It makes me just remember the conversation that I had with her where she talked about the purpose of her writing this book was to share her story in hopes that it would empower other young women. She did talk about a lot of the other things to Howard Stern. She said she auditioned for Top Gun, obviously didn't get the part, but would later work with Tom Cruise as a co-star in A Few Good Men. Now, if you love that video, you're gonna love everything on the Access YouTube channel, so hit the subscribe button. You can thank me later. Hit it. Now. Thanks.
As an anxious teen, she is taken by her mother to bars so that men will notice them. She's 15 when she comes home one night and an older man they know is in the apartment with the key. She writes, it was rape and a devastating betrayal, revealed by the man's cruel question. How does it feel to be whored by your mother for $500?
Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm's way.
But what's even more jaw-dropping than Demi Moore's tragic past is that she later became close with Diddy and was regularly seen at his parties. Let's not forget, Demi was married to Ashton Kutcher, Diddy's sidekick back in the early 2000s. Ashton was always front and center at those white parties.
I would say he's definitely a freak.
I heard some wild stories. I heard he had
We all heard. Yeah. But then, come on, I want to hear what you heard.
I mean, I heard that he had this dude, Ashton Kutcher, bent over him.
Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. Him and Ashton Kutcher was really tight. We used to go to his crib. He had a penthouse on 74th and 8th Avenue on Central Park.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo, don't punk me. Can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
Knowing Demi was abused as a child, it's baffling to see her buddying up with Diddy and allegedly harming other kids. A video from 1982 just resurfaced, and it's disturbing. In it, a seemingly drunk Demi Moore kisses 14-year-old Philip Tanzini. At the time, she was married to Freddie Moore.
Okay, one more time. Oh man. So, why do you think you have to break together today? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just because I love them all and I hope they all love me. We do love him. And I love them.
If you think it's for the publicity, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely, because he's one of my most favorite people. And I had lunch almost a month and a half. What's your role? I'm Lucy Loud. I'm Philip Tanzini, and I play Jeremy, and you're stealing my part. How fun! Okay. Oh, okay. Because I love Philip, and he's the only one I love. You your interview already. All right. I'm Lucy Love, but personally, I love Philip, and that's it. Okay. I mean, we got our new storyline. Looking down, what is saying? How about? I want to say happy birthday to Philip because I love him dearly. He's one of my most favorite people. Just for about 3 weeks. And he's been terrific.
Ashton Kutcher is spiraling. Long before his Diddy connection, Ashton was linked to other predators. When he was with Mila Kunis on that 70s show, he was tight with Danny Masterson, a now convicted child rapist. The two even joked about Ashton kissing 14-year-old Mila.
I've been on FBI raids where I've seen things that no person should ever see. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play. But the right to pursue happiness for so many is stripped away. It's raped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion. It is sold for the momentary happiness of another.
After Danny Masterson was found guilty of rape in 2023, Ashton still defended him publicly and even wrote a letter to the judge vouching for Danny's character.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or reach homicides them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
Steve Harvey's name keeps coming up too in connection with Diddy. In 2019, folks were whispering that Steve was essentially pimping out his daughter Lori to Diddy. Now that we know what Diddy's about, what kind of father would let that fly? Diddy even tried to intimidate Lori's future fiancé, Michael B. Jordan, who's now being dragged into the case too.
Steve Harvey also has a very inappropriate relationship with the diddler. And the truth is, a lot of these older men push their daughters to hook up with their celebrity friends so that they can keep the favor machine going. How do you share with your daughter, you know? Like they share that experience there? This nigga's wild. You heard about what he did in the Macy's room to the Echo clothing guy? Like Diddy's an animal. Who would introduce their daughter to that? Why is not nobody looking at Steve Harvey sideways, G? You let your daughter date the diddler?
Hey, was Michael B. Jordan there? I know he's dating your daughter now, so was he sharing Christmas with you?
Yeah.
Look at that, that's happening in front of you?
I've never seen that picture before.
very uncomfortable with that picture right there. Like, really feeling that picture.
Going around Hollywood saying that in the late 90s, Diddy, which I know about this because I had a friend who worked detail on the party, invited Steve Harvey to one of his famous freak-offs and then recorded Steve Harvey in a very compromising position with somebody else, if you know what I mean. Which doesn't bode too well for Mr. Family Man, you know what I mean? So the freak-off situation got pretty crazy. There was a tape circulating. I have seen the tape. But the problem here is Diddy has been blackmailing Steve Harvey for the last 25 years, including, and this is also some reports that I've been able to verify, Diddy was dating his daughter, as well as Diddy's son was dating his daughter, and people said reports that Diddy was using her as an ATM.
So many celebs are trapped in a web of secrets. In this industry, everyone's got something to lose, and they'll protect each other's dirt to keep it buried. Diddy is just one piece of a massive machine. Couch casting, still alive and well. The moment you let someone exploit you sexually for fame or favors, you lose a piece of yourself, and that piece doesn't grow back.
You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, you know? Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, you know? But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man.
Justin Bieber's name is floating around too. His team is denying any abuse. But if you watch the old clips of him and Diddy together, something feels off. Diddy's body language, Justin's unease, it's hard to ignore. And honestly, the trauma Justin's carrying still shows.
Justin Bieber breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the rap mogul's indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which he denies, made headlines. Old clips of the two hanging out while Justin was underage resurfacing.
Let's just go get some girl. Probably not saying yes. A man after my heart, that's not. We hit him like this, so me and you walking, we hanging out, a little later on the night after the Usher concert.
There's also this old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Oh, well, nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
The Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him, the singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week after week, the Beliebers asking if what he's seen behind the scenes of the industry.
Terrence Howard had words for this kind of trauma too. He said actors who've been violated or forced into compromising sex acts often turn to drugs to numb the pain. That kind of betrayal stains your whole life.
You see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Will Smith and T.D. Jakes have both backed away from public life since cutting ties with Diddy. Just 3 days before Diddy's trial began, T.D. Jakes resigned as lead pastor of the Potter's House megachurch. Diddy and Jakes were thick as thieves. So now, with Diddy's trial starting, Jakes disappears? That ain't just a coincidence.
Many in the religious community, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation. From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical incident that he confirmed to the public he had a heart attack. Now, 5 months later, he told his congregation he had been preparing his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and his son-in-law, Pastor Torrey Roberts, to take the...
Same goes for Will Smith. After people started connecting him to Diddy, Will went on stage in San Diego to insist he had no ties to the man. But let's be real, Will's been going to Diddy's parties for years. Rumors have even swirled that he and Jada had threesomes with Diddy.
But the world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I say, no, some of this stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all them memes. I can start all of that. I ain't been nowhere near goddamn freak off. But that's I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid to whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. but I haven't said that publicly. I just that y'all the first kind of. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because it's like people get so many things. People say so much stuff, but you know that one your means was doing too much.
Once you're in the inner circle, there's no easy way out. Celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC said on Piers Morgan Uncensored that when you go against the Hollywood system, you either vanish or get silenced.
Right. Well, Piers, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, Have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So,
There were rumors I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time. I saw the tunnel. I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, shit, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked up the end of a tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on. Or was that Puffy?
The truth is knocking at everyone's door. Will Smith, T.D. Jakes, Steve Harvey, Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher. Because at some point the money dries up, the fame fades, and those NDAs stop protecting anyone. Justice may be slow, but it sees everything. We'll keep watching, digging, and giving a voice to the silenced. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on your notifications. This trial is just getting started.